The Oda got another move and continued pressing against the Takeda, taking another space, and began the siege in earnest. Otherwise, they're mainly just redeploying forces. End of 13 turns, and it was another non-turn, basically. The anti-Oda miners went, but the Yasugi come in, and they're up here. Alright, the Ikuiki went, they got a rebellion, and moved the Sakai unit into place. But I did notice, because I was going to make Sakai into a daimyo, that I cheated when I made the Takeda leader into a daimyo. You need to own Kyo for that. There's a few cards that require that, and I'm not great with reading comprehension. It was an Oda pull, and they did advance the space against the Takeda. But Hideyoshi was badly walloped by the Ikuiki. It's looking like that whole side is in real danger now. Turn 14 ended more or less where we left off, and turn 15 ended without anything happening. So we got the same basic status. The Oda are trying to contain the Ikuiki revolt. Other than that, you know, this allows whoever's losing on a front to build up their forces and maybe get a shot. Seen a bunch of movement. The Mori moved forward, capturing a couple more locations and activating a couple of clans against them, actually. Let me see what we got here. The Yasugi moved forward a space. Oda moved forward on an attack. I think I caught that. Okay, so over to the Takeda, which is sort of the really exciting piece of this all. Seeing the success that the Oda had on their attack, the Takeda moved some of their forces around, and also they succeeded in turning one of the units. That nice little blood stain there. And then they tried to make a fast march up to challenge this force that's cutting into them, but they did get halted by that minor clan there. End of turn 16. We had a series of actions after the last one. Ikuiki, and Oda, and Yasugi, and then the turn ended. The Ikuiki broke out, sieging, succeeded in conquering this space, and they also had a revolt up in the north, which doesn't change any control markers because a few more troops up there to help the Yasugi. They can't cooperate directly, but they can conquer territories, etc. The Oda laid siege back to the Tokugawa territories, and they actually held over here. The biggest news for them was capturing, what was that, Mount High, and continuing the siege down here in Nagashima. Yasugi continued to move forward, and that's it. I threw the replacements on the map already, which allows Hideyoshi to have a few more troops. But yeah, it's definitely turning out to be a bit of a fight for survival at this point. I've always been debating, the Oda have the chance to build a third resource center so that if they lose the two castles, they don't lose. It seems like a really expensive proposition. It takes 6 movement points and then another 6 for it to be fully operational. So, you know, what could you do with all those actions instead of that? It seems like such a bad idea when you're actually pressed. And I'm not sure how good an idea it is if you're not pressed. You could be gaining territory. Although the neutrals do provide a little bit of cover. So I don't know. It's got to be a hard choice. I wouldn't suspect you see it very often in the game. Top of turn 17, we have the Asugi go first. They moved another space down. Nothing too exciting there. The Mori, on the other hand, played a betrayal card. They were in position to take both of the daimyo of the well, they're kind of a samurai here, but I mean anybody with a, it's probably a daimyo, anybody in the game actually. But anyway, they got 2 samurai and their troops, conquered those 2 spaces for free, and also moved forward to start a siege and to position themselves in front of Kyoto. So that side is really, really looking in danger. Ikuiki go next and grab the territory. They had a limited siege. They only had 1 die roll, 1 pip on the die, so they did not attack Kyo, and they did not move forward any of their other troops. And then the turn ended. Got the reinforcements and replacements in place. Move that up. And we're seeing the Takeda trying to put something in line to help reduce the chances that they're going to fall. Right now they're at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 locations, but if they fall to 6 or below 6, they end up at risk of losing their 1 leader. Tried to reinforce Kyo as much as possible. That's really about it. The Takeda go first, and they had an interesting combination. First of all, they used the ninja assassin and ninja in enemy camp to allow them to look through their enemy's hand and grab a card they wanted. And there they found a betrayal card for Akechi Mitsudi, and he happened to be sitting right next to their daimyo, the Shinjin, and no other leaders were there from the Oda clan. So the entire force stacked there just switched to the Takeda clan, and then they attacked the Tokugawa who were present and killed them both. So that's a major swing in power in that area. We'll see what happens in the rest of the impulse. So we see how the Takeda took advantage of this. They actually moved forward, took another space. They also sieged successfully the space Shinjin was on, and then the combined Oda force of Sukuna Nobumori and I think Takigawa Kazumatsu attacked. And Shinjin had an ambush card, which he played, gave him an immediate success. He had good chances anyway. This was really a gamble of epic proportions for the Oda. They lost 1 leader to the death pile, and 1 was wounded. All their troops are wiped out, and now the Takeda are no longer at all pressured.